Hello and welcome to the first episode of season 4 of the Jumping the Rail podcast here on the JTR Podcast Network. This is Mark Redman coming to you from the Noodles position in Champaign, Illinois. And as you can see, I am not joined by my buddy Menders. She's taking the week
No
off.
Minder.
Nope, but in her place, we got my buddy Tobi Hope. Toby, thanks for helping us out today, man.
Hey, thanks, Rab. Pleasure being here, buddy.
Yeah, well, we got you for a good one.
Oh yeah.
As if you followed our social media, tonight is part 3 of our chat with Justin Credible. So we thought that was a good way to kick the season off. Toby, have you ever met Justin before?
I am not. I am not. I've met plenty of his old cohorts in ECW, but never had the pleasure of meeting Justin. So,
Nice.
yep, very excited.
Yeah. Well, Toby, for those that don't know you, why don't you break down a little bit of your background in pro wrestling?
Sure. Cut my teeth many years ago in what was called Powerhouse Championship Wrestling originally. Then went to Powerhouse Inc. We ran Marseilles, Illinois, LaSalle, Peru. We used to do Wizard World Comic Con every year. That was always a blast. And then after that, I went on to be the booker at Pro Wrestling Blitz out of the Chicagoland area for many years with my buddy Tony Scarpone.
Nice.
Yep. That was a great time. Many years with Blitz, many awesome shows, met lots and lots of big name talent. Worked with some great indie guys from all over the Midwest.
So Tony Scarpone, was he the one that used to team up with Robert Anthony?
Oh yeah, Ego. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love
Original
Ego. He was so
founder
cool.
original founder of was it AAW? They're still going in Berwyn.
Up in Berwyn? Yeah.
Yep.
See, I always thought Danny Daniels founded AEW.
No, Tony actually founded AAW. A little,
Yeah. I learn something new every day.
And then Danny came along, and well, not to go into gory details, but then it became Danny's baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
him and from my understanding, him and Tony are cool, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Danny also a hell of a worker from what I used to see of him
Oh
in
yeah.
the ring.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yep.
I think he trained Seth Rollins, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
believe you're right. Him and back in his old Tyler Black days. Him and Merrick
Tyler
Brave.
Black. Yep.
Yeah. Couple Iowa kids.
Yes.
Yep.
Doing pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, they're
Seth
doing
looked
all
kind
right.
of Seth looked kind of goofy at the Derby last weekend with the
I wouldn't have even recognized him. Not exactly clean shaven, but for Seth, pretty
considerably
close.
less beard than usual.
Yeah,
For old Seth.
and then you had Becky wearing a hat that looked like they were made out of old Bret the Hitman Hart shades. Exactly. Yeah, those. Imagine full headgear in those. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That probably reflected the sun though, so that's not too bad.
And you know what? In all honesty, Seth looked great. It was actually subdued looking in that peach-colored suit compared to what he usually walks through the ring in.
This is true.
Yep.
Goodness. All right. Well, we got a little business to take care of first
Sure.
and foremost, Toby. I kind of gave you a heads up of what we do here, so
Yep.
we're going to start off. You get to participate in the Good Hoot and Good Judy of the week this week.
Oh yeah.
So let's get right to it. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
So give us your good hoot. Who do you got?
My good hoot is well, I didn't tell you this, Rev. I went to my first live wrestling show in probably 8 years this past weekend.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I went to the MLW TV tapings. As MLW joint show with CMLL. Their Aztec.
Oh, the Azteca. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, with the little Lucha Underground. So my good hoot of the week is Satoshi Kojima.
He loves bread and he loves lariats.
Yes. Current MLW champion. I got to see him defend the title for one part of the TV taping. And then him and his tag team partner, Shigeo Okamura, won the vacant tag titles in the second part of the taping. Double champion.
Okay. See, I knew that Contra whooped on WTF that the Battle Riot or the War Chamber show. I didn't realize they'd had to get stripped of the titles.
Yes. Yeah. The titles were vacant. Yep.
Yeah,
So So Cozy Max, as they're known, they took on the second gear crew for the vacant
Okay.
straps. And yep, spoiler alerts, because I don't think it's getting released till this weekend. So on their YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah,
SGC, I'm assuming that's Justice and Manders.
that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
'Cause I think Manser actually lost a loser leaves match not too long ago in MLW. So
Oh, did he? Well,
I think so. Don't quote me
well,
on that, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yep. Well,
He's
he
doing
was
some
there.
he's doing some great things at in GCW right now. He's going
Yeah.
full heel
Yeah.
in that
Yep.
feud he had with Effie.
They both look great. I had a great time at the show. It was nice. It was nice getting back it was a sold out Cicero Stadium too, which we actually ran a blitz. And
Okay.
1,000+ in there. It was packed. It was great. Hot. Forgot
Good
how those
turnout.
packed shows. Yeah, great turnout. Yep. A lot of
Awesome.
fun. Yep.
I've been wanting to get up to an MLW show for a while, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Well, return date in Cicero, November 9th.
Okay. I'll have to
Keep
keep
that in
that in
mind, buddy.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know they got their big battle riot coming up before too long, and
Yeah, in Atlanta.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the odds-on favorite for that was probably Matt Riddle at this point. But
Yeah.
it's always fun to see who shows up for that though, because there's always some
Sure.
surprises.
Oh yeah, they've already announced like Ernest the Cat Miller.
Nice.
Probably some local old WCW guys living around Atlanta. That way they don't have
I'm
to fly
sure.
anybody in. Oh yeah.
Possibly Buff. You never know.
Never know. Riddle looked great, by the way. He worked twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. He worked twice, including a match with Sami Callihan. So
that was probably pretty interesting.
it was. It was very. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
We saw. Well, you were at the Square Circle Expo in April, so you didn't make it to the show with Riddle and Jake Ullman, did you?
I did not.
Oh.
Nope, I didn't. I didn't make the Friday show or the Saturday show. No.
Man, I'll tell you what, if you get a chance to catch it, I don't know if they have it on YouTube. I think Premiere Streaming has the whole show.
Okay.
But man, you got it. That match was so good. That was out of both shows, that was the match of the weekend for me, and I think Menders and Bari all agreed with me on that.
Very cool.
But it was Riddle's first time limit draw that he had while he was TV champion.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. That belt's been making the rounds. Jeff Cobb just won that not too
I
long
know I'm
ago.
a huge Jeff Cobb mark.
Love Cobb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do too. Guy's a
Those
stud.
big hosses, man.
I know. How long before he gets signed somewhere over here?
I can't believe he hasn't yet.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my good hoot of the week, I'm actually going to go to last night on Raw. I'm going to give mine to Ilya Dragunov, even though he didn't win that match with Jey Uso. It's one of those. It's the old cliche: you either get over or you go over, and this is one where Ilya definitely got over. Because
yeah, he looked great.
Yeah, I just love his style. I know Menders and Bari both were going on all morning about being pissed that Ilya didn't win because they want Ilya and Gunther in the tournament.
Right.
I want there to be a build to this, and we got a little bit of it last night when Ilya was doing his promo. Then Gunther just showed up, like looking over his shoulder, and they didn't say anything to each other.
Right.
But we're getting that slow burn, and I mean, no matter when it is, that match is gonna just kick ass.
Oh yeah.
Gunther and Ilya.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's gonna be fantastic. Yep.
Yes. AJ's in the chat. He says my good hoot of the week is the Black Diamond Ace Perry. It took a lot of punishment from Shane Mercer. It still came out on top at HCW on Saturday. Yeah, we went to the hybrid show in Terre Haute Saturday night, and
nice.
Very good show. Very short. They only had about 5 matches, which we were out the door by before nightfall. So
really,
I mean, but there was some good stuff. Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon. I know you know who he is.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I know Ace isn't the biggest guy, but Mercer is just insanely strong, and it really showed in that match that they had. He's a guy I want to have on here sometime because I want to get some Bull Pain stories from him.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah.
Scares the crap out of me, Bull Pain. All right. All right. Well, Toby, let's go to our good Judy here. There we go.
Judy.
So what do you got?
Well, my good Judy, I thought out of the box a little bit today, Reb. Probably a gal, to my knowledge, has never wrestled a match in her life. But my good Judy of the week, Lillian Garcia.
Lillian, she popped
Oh,
up last night.
oh, made my heart a flutter. I've only
I don't
uh,
think
I've only
she,
been I've only been to one WrestleMania in my life. I went to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit at Ford Field,
yeah,
and my buddies and I we did the whole VIP travel package kind of deal. So we were invited to meet and greets and all that stuff. So there's a
nice.
there's a Polaroid floating around this house somewhere of myself, RVD, Sabu, and Lillian Garcia. Quite the
That's a
quartet.
motley crew there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And she could not have been sweeter. So I've always been a big Lillian fan. So
Yeah.
it was great seeing her. Great seeing her give all kinds of love and respect to Samantha. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Lillian apparently does not age. She looks just
Oh,
about exactly the same as she did in 2002.
oh yeah, oh
But
yeah,
no, I thought it was very classy that she put Samantha Urban over the way she did during
yeah,
that show.
yep,
Uh,
yep, yep.
Jim Cornette is a fan of Samantha Urban.
I
So,
I know, I know. As well he should be. We all should be.
well, yes.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I heard somewhere that she doesn't actually like to know the results of the match beforehand. That way she can have
I've
like
heard that.
yeah, just a natural organic response, and yeah,
That's the
that's
way to do
great.
it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see some of the commentators on TV have the same policy there, because that way you'll get that organic reaction during
right,
these. I think Jim Ross might have been the last one to not know the
right,
finish.
right. And I think the King was the same way, but I think that was mostly because the King liked to blow off the production meetings. Yeah.
That may have been true. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, my good Judy, I'm sticking with Raw. I honestly, cards on the table. I didn't watch a whole lot of wrestling last week. I've taken a 3 week break from Dynamite, and then
Oh wow. I've
I
taken
wasn't
like a
home.
3 month break from Dynamite, so I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to Busted Open After Dark when Bully does right after Dynamite's off the air, so I kind of get the
Sure.
gist. And then off of that, then I'll go to YouTube and look up things that he's talking about.
Right.
But like I said, I'm going with Raw because there was a matchup last night that I will never tire of, and that's Io Sky and Shayna Baszler.
Oh yeah.
And and I gave my good Judy to Io. She got the win. She moved on in the tournament, and yeah, everything she does is just so smooth in the
Oh
ring,
yeah. Oh yeah.
especially that stuff off the ropes. It's just so
Oh
good.
yeah. I'm a big fan of anybody in Damage Control.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
it's
they're all great.
yeah. I think Dakota is very underrated. No,
I agree.
she doesn't quite get the love that, I mean, Asuka, it speaks for herself with
Right.
her resume. Kyrie's very good. Io, of course, has been on the best run of her career.
Right.
But Dakota's been just kind of like just in the shadows a little bit. But I've seen her have some damn good matches also.
Yeah.
But she hasn't really got that chance on the main roster yet.
Right. Yep. Yep. Exciting stuff from all those ladies. I'm really enjoying what they're doing right now at the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournaments, especially the opening round matches being on house shows.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you can tell Vince isn't around. That wouldn't have
no.
happened.
Well, shit, just watching well, talking about Io and Shayna, Michael Cole mentioning how they feuded over the Stardom Championship.
Stardom. Yeah. Right.
That's one of
Right.
those Vince would never let that go because he'd say nobody's heard of that, pal, that kind of
Right.
thing. But
Right. Right.
but
Yep.
uh, but yeah, it's like I say, like I said, I'm a fan of I'm with you. I'm a fan of all four of those girls in that
Oh,
group.
ditto.
So
Ditto. And yeah, and how good Shayna. I mean, speaking of Vince not being around, the fact that Shayna on Mania weekend got to participate in Josh Burnett's show, and I
yeah,
mean,
did you get a chance to see that?
I did not. The only thing I saw was pictures of Punk and Natty and other people in
I think
WWE
Braun, I think was
backstage.
there.
Yeah, yeah, just hanging
Yeah,
out, and that's all I saw. But
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it was a better produced Raw Underground if you think about it,
gotcha.
because it was
Yeah,
the ring with no
right,
ropes and kind
right,
of the
right.
it's kind of the spirit of MMA almost with the
Sure,
like the first match they had was Nick Nemeth and Mike Bailey, Speedball,
right.
and I loved that match because Bailey was going martial arts, that's his wheelhouse, but
Mhm.
Nemeth was reverting back to his amateur wrestling more than trying pro style.
Very
Like
cool.
he was going to the knees trying to shoot and get a double leg. It was really good. All those matches were good,
Right.
but
Well, is it available on YouTube?
It's on Triller TV, if you've
Okay.
got that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what MLW's on now. So yeah,
yeah,
right, right.
but yeah, definitely recommend it. Let me see here. So, uh, oh, Keith Gibson is in the chat. It's our buddy. He helped us out
Oh, that's
last
my
week.
buddy.
Gotta love Keith. He's such good people.
Oh yeah, great dude.
Yeah. So, like I said, I went back. I watched some YouTube clips from Dynamite after the fact, and
Hmm.
something that really stuck out on. And I try not to be overly negative about AEW. I want everything to do well and all this, you know. But Trent giving Orange Cassidy a pile driver on the stairs, and then
Right.
Cassidy just popping right back up again, just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh yeah, I
I mean,
saw the clip. I saw Bully Ray's response. Of course, you're a Busted Open fan, so you're probably all over that. Yeah.
right. But I mean,
Yep.
it makes sense. I mean, and listen to the Bully, because Bully's the guy that got the pile driver over again in
Hmm.
2013 when he brought it back.
Right.
But but he gets accused of being an AEW hater by a lot of the hardcore AEW fans, but he
Sure.
has a gripe here because not only did Cassidy take that pile driver, he took that hangman off the ring frame after that,
Right.
and then what is it, maybe 3 minutes later, he's up on his feet with a chair in his hand trying to fight.
Right.
That. I mean, if that happened 20 years ago, that's a stretcher job.
Right. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
but
And
it's like
I love the people that bring up people who no sold the pile driver before in the past.
yeah,
Like,
Hawk.
like we're Warrior Hawk, yeah, taking Wallers. Okay, let's compare, Orange Cassidy's neck and traps and shoulders to Hawk's.
What traps and
Yeah,
shoulders and
exactly.
yeah, I mean, if you've got say Wardlow or Hobbs, that's you could almost say that's feasible to, and I'm not
Right,
saying on the steps, but if they could take a pile driver and possibly get back up, I mean they're jacked. They got the neck muscle. Orange
right.
Cassidy, I don't know why they're trying to make him into a Superman. It's
Oh,
I mean,
because it's Tony's favorite.
I
I mean,
I know.
when the
And
owner
here's
dresses up like you for Halloween, I mean, come
yeah,
on.
that's when you can sit down at the contract negotiations and say, "Oh, by the
Yeah,
way, I'm going to ask for a shitload of money."
yeah,
But
exactly.
and the thing is, Cassie's not a bad wrestler. The
Oh,
gimmick
I know.
is just the worst thing he could have. I mean, I know it's wildly popular selling merch and all that stuff, but
Right,
eventually that's going to get old, and he's going to want to move on to do something
right,
else, and he's going to be stuck in this gimmick forever.
right.
Because
But then
I don't know
again,
how.
I mean, sometimes less is more. I mean, especially when he gets older, you
Yeah,
know, people are going to expect less out of him. It's
yeah.
the old, do you want to be the Dynamite Kid, or do you want to be Honky Tonk Man? Think
Oh,
about it.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You're not wrong. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Orange Cassidy could do that gimmick until he's 65.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's very
mean,
true.
right. It's got,
But
as much as I hate it, I mean, part of me thinks the guy's kind of smart for doing it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you make a very good point. It's
We all only have so much tread on our tires, Reb,
hmm
and none of us are getting younger. And I
yeah,
know he's a young man now, but
yeah.
you know,
He's actually older than I thought he was. I think he's a little younger. I think he may have just turned 40,
really,
but I believe so. I'm gonna double check that. But
well,
I mean,
time's been good to him.
yeah, I mean
I
his
swear to
bump
God,
card is still very fresh.
yeah, I thought he was maybe 30.
Oh no, because I
Wow.
saw him. I don't know how familiar you are with Shikara, Toby, but you remember the colony, the
Oh yeah,
faction of the ants? He
the
was one of
ants.
the
Yeah.
ants. He was
Oh
Fire Ant.
wow. No kidding.
Yeah, he worked an IWA show in '08 as Fire Ant, and I got to meet him then.
Oh God, I'm
Let's
doing the
see.
math in my head. Yeah, that would make him probably about 40.
He's 40. He just had his 40th birthday about a week ago.
Oh,
So,
no kidding.
yeah.
Well, he looks great.
Yes.
So
Train
keep no selling
trained
those
by
pile drivers, kid.
right, trained by Hero, Quackenbush, and Skida. So
Oh, there you
so he
go.
knows his shit, that's for sure.
Right, right.
And then he found a gimmick that's gonna make him immortal. It seems
Well,
like.
there you go.
Up,
There you
AJ,
go.
one step behind me, AJ. He's chiming
That's
in.
right.
Orange Cassidy is 40. AJ
Wow.
usually does our research for us when we're talking about this stuff. He'll pop on the Wikipedia and figure that stuff out.
Gotcha.
All right, so we have not a lot outside of the tournament and the main event announced for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament in
Hmm.
Saudi Arabia. But they announced on Friday it's going to be Cody defending his title against Logan, who's apparently defending his title. Apparently, it's going to be a title for title match.
Really?
Yeah, I've
I smell no
seen
contest.
that's that's what I'm thinking. But is the Sultan of Saudi Arabia going to be happy with a non-finish in
Well,
this
I
match?
don't know.
I don't. But it might not even be the main event though. They might save the tournament for the main event,
Never know.
which you never know. So,
Never
but
know.
usually I just can't picture either one of these guys losing their title this early in
No,
their
no,
run.
no. It'd be a huge mistake for either one of them to. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we
And
know
it's the thing too
Logan.
about these. Oh, go ahead, bud.
I was gonna say Logan's got SummerSlam in Cleveland coming up, and we seem to be of the impression here that he's gonna probably drop the title to LA Knight at SummerSlam.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he could theoretically win the belt back from Cody at some point, but it just seems like just all kinds of unnecessary moving around to get to that point.
Right. Right. The thing I was going to say that's what drives me nuts about these Saudi Arabia shows. I mean, this should be something, Cody, Logan Paul, two champs. This is something that should be just drawn out. You want to talk about some long-term storytelling. I mean, that's the route I would have loved to have seen, but like you say, the Sultan's writing big fat checks, and
Yeah,
his
yeah,
kid
yeah.
must want to see it. I don't know. You know,
Yeah. The thing is, both of these guys, these are probably the two best promos on SmackDown
right?
at the moment.
By far,
So,
yeah.
so they could tell a story with this if they wanted to stretch it out a little bit.
Right,
But
right. I wish this was going to be the main event. Say it's SummerSlam. Where we have all summer. We got months to
hmm
build. And that
yeah,
that's how it's felt so far in the Triple H era. He's gone
right.
back to those roots of let's tell a story.
hmm
Let's give it time. Let's write chapters and chapters before we get to the end.
Yeah,
So
I
this
think
just
that's
feels
what.
so rushed.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing with Jacob Fatu. That's why I don't think. I think that's why they haven't brought him in yet
Yeah, I've
because
been
they know
waiting.
he's the big gun in this
Yeah,
bloodline story.
right,
Uh, I love that they brought Tonga Loa in because I'm a big
right.
fan of the Girls of Destiny as a tag team.
Ditto.
Uh,
Yep.
and if that means we're going to get them against the Usos at some point, I mean, count me in.
Right,
Because that's kind
right.
of a tag. Tony Khan's known for the tag team dream matches, but this would be a tag team dream match on the WWE side
Sure,
when those four guys get together.
sure. Have Teddy Long come out and announce it.
Holla, yeah.
Here's a
Then
question for you,
Solo.
Rev.
What's
Speaking
that?
about Fatu, when Roman comes back, Roman's got to be a huge babyface when he comes back, right? I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah. Who's going to be? Who's going to have his back?
Uh, I think it's going to be the Usos. I don't know if you've been following
Did that really
Jay's
do
social
anything for you?
media. I mean, it makes sense just because they're the original bloodline. And
Yeah, but
if you follow Jay's socials, he's gone on record saying that Roman is still his tribal chief.
well, there you go.
So they got that. But if you look at it, if The Rock is the head of the new bloodline, which that's
Mhm.
what everybody seems to think is going to happen, you got Rock, Solo, Tamatanga Tongaloa on
Right.
their team. So Rock has to have four. So I'm as much as I would love to see Jacob come in as a heel, I got a feeling he's going to be a babyface.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I would love to
Yeah.
see an old school Survivor Series match,
Yeah,
four
not
on
even War
four.
Games. Just give me an elimination tag.
Right. Right.
Have like here's my question is now that Tongaloa and Tamatanga are there, are we going to get Haku on television
Oh, I
at
would
some
love
point?
that. Are you kidding me? That'd be great. That'd be
Well,
great.
you could still take half the roster, probably more than
Yeah.
half.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. Now, did you have the pleasure of meeting him at Squirt Circle
I
Expo?
I did not. I found myself on the business end of the Sting line for the better part of
Oh,
3 hours.
that's right. I
So
forgot.
I, that kind of cut into my meet and greet time, so I missed out. I actually I'd paid for the X-Pac photo op, but I missed out on that because he was gone by the time I got there. So
Oh, damn.
they were nice enough to refund me, but still it was a little
Yeah,
disappointing.
right.
But most of the guys I really want to meet, I was able to get taken care of on Friday,
Cool.
and yeah, Mari's bragging. I did, he says.
I did too.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that pic. Yep, there it was. Yep, yep, yep. I was lucky enough too.
yeah. Papa Pullman's in the chat, one of our 01 buddies there, says Haku was the true Samoan badass. Yeah, he was a sumo back before he was a pro wrestler.
Yes,
So
very true.
AJ's chiming in here. Says, I still think Fatu will be on Roman's side. Tama has been made to look like the crazy guy through crashing his car into KO and stuff like that. You need a bloodthirsty crazy guy to take the fight to a bloodthirsty crazy guy. He's not wrong.
Nope, not wrong.
And the stuff that Fatu does in the ring is going to make him a babyface. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I've never seen a guy that big that can do that handspring moonsault and
Sure.
all these crazy. We had Stan Stackhouse on here a few months ago, and he's worked with Jacob and hung out with the family, and he told us that Jacob's family says he's the best one in the family, which is a
That's
really high praise
right.
considering the people that are in that bloodline, no pun intended.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see when he's going to show up. It's not going to be long, I don't think, but
Well, that was my next question. How long do you think we're gonna have to wait?
maybe I think it depends. I'm inclined to think it'll be a pay-per-view. I don't think it'll be on television.
No, I don't think so either.
The next one after the Queen of the Ring is, I think, Extreme Rules, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And if they do some kind of no DQ fuck rematch, then that could be where he comes in. Maybe
Right.
they do Owens and Orton against the Bloodline again. I don't think we get Roman back yet. I think that'll be for it'll be SummerSlam probably when he comes back.
Right. Now, is he shooting a movie?
Yes.
Okay. So
I think he might be doing a couple movies, but just taking a break from the ring, and I would say he's earned it.
oh yeah.
Actually, I mean, I know he doesn't wrestle every week, but still, he had probably the best run anybody could have asked for in the
Sure.
last 3-4 years.
Sure.
All right. So we should be joined by our guest here in a few minutes.
All right.
Whenever I go over the time with these guys, I have to remind myself that most of them are on Eastern time because
Right.
Justin's in Connecticut. Like we had Fonzie on Thursday, he's in Florida,
Yeah.
and I always
Oh,
say,
that
"Oh,
was
we're going."
great.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
We,
Love Fonzie.
it was nice to have Narge and Marco back with us for one night. He took us out of that TVPG region for their appearance, but
Sure. Yep.
oh my goodness. So if anybody in the comments has questions for Justin, be sure you put them in there, and we'll throw them to him. There's still some things I wonder about that. I mean, we've had him on twice, and there's a couple things I still haven't gotten to the bottom of that I'm curious about. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What we should do, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and pay some bills real quick and get that out of the way, and then that should free up a little bit of time. And then we'll do the interview, then we'll do our top 10, and we'll go from there. So let's. All right. So there
All
you go.
right.
BravebusterTees.com/JTR, ProWrestlingTees.com/JTR Pod for all of our merchandise there. Uh, Coming up next week, we're going to be joined for another part two. This time, damn right, Sam Knight from the Midwest region. Mainly, we know him from Hybrid Championship Wrestling, but he wrestles all over the place. And then Aaron Williams from Cincinnati's Most Wanted the following week on the 28th. And then Toby, I don't know if you heard about our guests in June. That's very exciting here. We got Ricky Santana coming up on the 4th of June.
Right.
Uh, he was a Fidel Sierra, the Cuban Assassin's longtime tag team partner, so he helped us make that happen. So thanks to him. We got the grappler Lynn Denton joining us on the 25th of June, and he's a guy, another guy that Assassin hooked us up with, but he wound up calling me out of the blue one day, just which kind of took me aback a little bit, but couldn't be a nicer guy. He's in Texas, so the time zone won't be an issue there.
Yeah.
And then July 2nd, we got the Berserker, John Nord, going to be joining us, which that one popped me because it's another one he called me, but I don't have his number saved in my phone. I just saw Minneapolis and the caller ID, like, oh shit, because Grappler told me he was going to pass along my number to him.
Very cool.
And I talked to him for like 20 minutes. Super nice guy. Very excited to do the show. So we got that
Awesome.
coming up here in June, early July.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Side note, I already told you this, Reb. I highly recommend the Grappler's book.
Yes, I got the audio version on Friday. I haven't
Nice.
cracked it open yet, though.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be doing that. And I'm going to be asking him about the DDT
Oh yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
he was the guy that took the first one on accident
Right.
from Jake the Snake.
Right. Cover me, kid.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake thought he just messed up.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my goodness. That's where a veteran is so handy.
Sure.
It's one of those things where you see a lot of these young guys, especially on the indies, but some in like on television that they don't know what to do when something goes wrong.
Right.
And when you have somebody like, I think that's where Sting was so valuable to Darby
Sure.
for that run they had because Sting, he's seen everything. He's, old. I mean, no offense, but
Right.
he knows how the butter's made, so he can tell these guys, hey, take a breath, just sell, and that's the thing
Right.
that I wish more people would know is just sell, and
And he
it
knows
kind of
because
goes back,
Flair used to tell him the same thing.
right,
Yeah.
and Watts.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blade Runners. Still, my favorite UWF angle was when Eddie Gilbert covered Bill Watts with the Russian flag,
Right.
and it was like the Blade Runners were in the aisle keeping people from helping, like the Koloffs and what was it, Porchenko? Was that his name?
I
The
believe you're
Russian
right. Yeah.
guy. They were in the ring with Eddie, just beating up on Watts. Jim Ross losing his fucking mind on commentary. Uh, I always say you can have as God as my witness, he's broken in half. Jim Ross calling that angle is the greatest Jim Ross
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
Oh sure. Oh sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to your grappler interview, Reb, because
yeah,
I always say I was born 20 years too late. I'm a territory guy.
yeah.
So the Pacific Northwest, Don Owen, all that. I just find all that fascinating.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I
That's
can't wait
why
to.
I loved the Fidel Sierra interview we did because he talked a
Oh, it's
lot
great.
about
Oh,
all
Eddie
those
Eddie
territories.
Graham, Florida. Oh yeah, give me all that, man.
Yeah, that's the one. When we had Fonzie on the first time, I forgot to ask him about Eddie Graham, and I kicked myself for like 2 years. So I had to make sure I got it out
Right.
on Thursday. But speaking of the territories, what do you think about Billy Corgan kind of bringing back the territories in the NWA?
Whole lot of noise about nothing, buddy. I mean, let's be honest. You know,
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean,
you can get together and you can put a bunch of indies under the same umbrella. It goes back to what Vince said. Remember Pro Wrestling USA with Memphis and AWA and everybody just trying to band against him and whatever that was, late 80s, early 90s, and you get a bunch of promoters together, they can't even agree on what to order for lunch.
right.
Right. So even
This,
with Billy, even with Billy, driving the ship, come on,
Yeah.
let's be real.
I think the difference here is I don't think they're doing it to try to compete with Vince. I think they're
Oh
just
no,
doing it to try to keep some of these indies afloat more than
right,
anything.
right. But ego's a terrible thing, man.
It really
You know,
is.
it really is, and
Yeah.
it's
And
hard to co-promote anything.
yeah. And I
So
think most of the territories he's gotten are owned or booked by some of his talent. Like I think EC3 runs the one Exodus Pro.
okay,
The Page sisters from Pretty Empowered run, I forget the name of the territory in Tennessee that they just joined up, and then
right.
Joe Kazana Promotions in I forget where they're based out of, but it's the Country Gentlemen, the tag team. That's their dad.
Gotcha.
So you got to wonder, but I'm
I
hoping
mean,
that I'm hoping that it's successful. Obviously
oh
we
yeah,
don't want anybody to go out of business or anything like
right.
that.
I root for everybody. It's
Yeah,
like we were talking about AEW, and everybody accuses the diehards always accuse everybody of being the haters, and Lord knows I've been accused of being an AEW hater because I'm very, very critical of them. But competition's a good thing.
it is, and
Yeah,
employment's a good thing. I mean, just the fact that
exactly. Yep.
there's so many wrestlers that are able to make a living now, and that wasn't the case 7, 8 years ago. It
Sure.
was,
Yep. What's
yeah,
the old saying? High tide raises all the ships.
that's
So if
right.
everybody's doing great, fantastic.
Yep. I mean, shit, WWE just pulled off of I don't know how many billion-dollar deal with Netflix.
Right.
Uh, AEW, I think they're working on a new TV rights agreement,
Right.
which I'm watching the numbers the last several months. I'm nervous that something's gonna go haywire there. Where
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Because I mean, it's a downward slope.
yeah, would it be better for Tony to just say fuck it and go to a streaming service at this point?
Yeah, but what streaming service? I mean, like Amazon Prime, or I mean, if it's a big dog like that, yeah. But
Right, like HBO Max or something. But
yeah.
knowing Tony, if that was the route he chose, he would just start his own, and
Well,
which you never know. I mean,
you never know.
he can't. It can't just be AEW stuff though. He'd have to have something else.
Sure.
Maybe his football club season, or
Well, and, I
maybe the
mean, here's the thing,
Jaguars.
everybody. Here's the thing, everybody has to remember too, Red. Tony Khan is not a billionaire. Tony
No.
Khan's dad is a billionaire. So
Hmm.
if you can get Shot on board, sure.
Right.
But I mean, Tony's just, I mean, it's flat out. He's spending his inheritance now while his dad can see him have fun with it.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Uh, AJ suggested HBO Max. Warner Brothers has a stake in that one, so any other one is out of the question.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Because
that's
I
one
mean,
of those where
there was a rumor floating around that Wembley was going to be aired on HBO Max. So that does make sense.
yeah.
Of course, it didn't come to fruition, but
No.
no.
But that's one of those cases where the onus wouldn't be on AEW to drive subscriptions necessarily as much as if they started their own. Because
Right.
I mean, everybody subscribes to Max because of all the other stuff that's on there.
Sure.
Kind of the same deal with WWE going to Peacock when they went there.
Right.
Like the difference is they did drive a large number of subscribers to Peacock
Oh, they
because
did.
because of all the pay-per-views and everything.
Right.
Uh, I do like that AEW's starting to put their pay-per-views on Triller TV instead
Hmm.
of Bleacher Report.
Right.
I I wish they weren't still running $50. I would think that they'd want to back that off a little bit
Sure.
because it's getting harder and harder and harder to convince people to spend that much money on a pay-per-view these days, no matter what company it is.
Oh, tell TNA.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
and
mean, you saw
and
the
I
number.
do
Yeah.
because I watch the TNA pay-per-views and I'm ponying up the $40 for that, but same
Oh,
deal. I mean,
you were one of the 500 last month.
I was one of the 500. I was, and
You're an exclusive club, brother.
that's right. That should get me tickets to the next show they have up here.
There you go.
But I miss the days when they had the 9.99 weekly pay-per-views
Oh, those were
in
fun.
'02.
Oh yeah, those were totally fun.
They were short. They
Yep.
they were exciting.
Yep.
Toby Keith suplex Jeff Jarrett. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of good stuff on that one.
Oh, all kinds of good stuff. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't
Yep.
watch a lot of them back when they were live, so I've been going back. I've got the TNA Plus subscription, so they got all those pay-per-views on there, so you can go
Oh
back.
yeah.
It's a really cool blast from the past to see that kind of
Yeah. Oh
stuff,
yeah. Yeah.
like
Oh, I'm not.
the
I mean,
flying Elvises.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot about them. Yeah, they were fun.
Hey, Jimmy Yang was in MLW over the weekend.
Yeah. He it was announced. Yeah, he's signed up for the next pay-per-view. So yep,
I
just
was like
saw that
Jimmy Yang.
today.
Yeah,
I did too. I wasn't a big Jimmy Wayne Yang fan,
me either.
but yeah.
Jimmy Yang from the Young Dragons was my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved Jimmy's work in Ring of Honor back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of good
yeah.
stuff. Go back
It was
and
like
that.
06, 07, right?
Oh yeah,
When he was there.
yeah,
Well, it might have
yeah,
been 05, 06, because I think
yeah.
07 he was
You know,
back in the company.
back when Ring of Honor was relevant.
Oh man, it was so good back then.
Oh, it was.
I try with the new Ring of Honor. It just seems like it's another AEW show. It
Oh,
it
I know.
doesn't stand out like it used to.
Yeah. So, like I told you, I went to the MLW show. Went with my buddy Tony Scarpone and our buddy Ray Flores. And I don't know if you're familiar with Ray's work at all, but he's a ring announcer, also play-by-play announcer all over the world with battle sports. He's done MMA, kickboxing, regular boxing. I mean, he was basically the moderator of the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor press conference. I mean,
Okay.
Ray's a big deal. So we were having dinner, and Ray goes to Tokyo at least 6-7 times a year, and he's also a big New Japan mark like myself.
Yeah,
So
me too.
yep, me too. So dinner conversation is Tony gobbling up all of New Japan's talent, Okada, Osprey, anybody and everybody, in a way
Sasha
to
to an extent.
in a way to water it down, so he can eventually buy it.
Man, I hope not.
I hope not too. And I'm not much of a conspiracy theory guy, but man, this one's
That'd be a black
this
eye,
one's got
man.
yeah. Yep.
But
I mean, if you think about it now, they got the IWGP strap on his boy. They're paying more attention to that, it feels like, on AEW TV than they are their own newly crowned world champ. I feel like Swerve has just been.
What are they doing to Swerve?
Side.
I mean,
yeah,
you got potentially the most over babyface they've got by the fans' choice, not by Tony's choice. And I think that I wonder if that's the problem. Maybe Tony didn't want Swerve to be the big baby face. Maybe he wanted to keep him as a heel.
Well,
but the fan response forced his hand to put that strap on and make him the baby face.
Well, Tony should look at that as a gift that got dropped in his lap. Is the way I look at it. Right. So he should take that ball and run with it.
Yeah.
But nope.
Watch, they'll have him drop the belt to Cassidy.
Oh Lord.
All in. You know that's going to happen eventually. He's going to put that belt on Orange Cassidy before he retires.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a big fat wet kiss. Thank you. Yeah.
Stuff it in his backpack and
Oh God! Stop talking.
I know. I'm scaring everyone. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
That's right.
We've got. I'm trying to think how many months we got until Wembley is. About 2.5 months, 3 months, give or take.
Was it? I'm sorry. Was it? I can't even. God, time. I'm getting old.
It's August.
I mean, is it August? That's what I was going to guess. Okay.
Yeah, I forget if it's late August or early August, but
gotcha.
Everybody's starting to speculate what are we going to see at Wembley this year, and I got to think it's got to be Swerve and Osprey for the world title.
That's what I'm leaning towards, with Osprey going over.
Osprey get his moment. Yeah. But
are they going to draw? Are they going to draw like they did last year? I mean, was that an anomaly? Was that just a big, spiteful ticket buy as a big middle finger to Vince?
Well, when AEW started and we got all of the, I'm not going to say all the haters, but everybody got so invested in AEW because it was the alternative, and it goes against everything Vince stood for in wrestling.
Right.
I looked at it, and the term I used for that was emotional bias. They were so happy to have an alternative, that they were kind of turning a blind eye to some of the booking and various things.
Sure.
And it seems like in the last 6 months or so that that bias has worn off.
Right.
Where it's to the point, like, okay, we're with you. You got to give us something to work with here. And Tony, in his infinite wisdom, is just thinking, oh, you guys loved us 6 years ago. We'll keep doing the same thing.
Mhm.
And then, oh, wait, we have this camera footage from Wembley. We're going to show CM Punk, and we're not going to make a liar out of him, but we're going to get more popular because of it. And
Right.
that didn't happen.
Nope.
Oh, we got Jack Perry, who's caused us nothing but headaches for the last year, and we'll bring him back, and that'll make everybody love him again. And that didn't happen. Then
Right.
Tony says, okay, I'll take a bump. That'll really put us over the top. And that didn't happen. I
No,
mean, this is starting to get repetitive.
I hear
It's
you.
like, I'll go to the draft in a neck brace and I'll act like I've never been in a neck brace before. I'll just look around
Right.
like this the whole time. And it's just, is it
He's got the.
desperation?
I guess
Is
he
it
has the
just
same.
he doesn't know? I don't get it.
Oh, I gotta admit though, man, the neck brace made me pop because it's like him and Bobby the Brain Heenan had the same chiropractor. It's the same old
No,
school foam.
I
Oh my
was
god, I love
all
it.
I was all for Tony wearing the neck brace, but you got to understand how you're supposed to move around in a neck brace. You got to sell
Sure,
it.
sure.
I
Yeah, he
mean,
didn't do himself any favors.
no, I mean, shoot, how many guys in that company have had neck surgery?
Right. Yeah,
Go
go
to
talk to
go to
Edge for 2
Copeland.
seconds. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
uh,
But Barry says they drug his ass through the mud for that neck brace. Yeah, like Pat McAfee on ESPN, all the NFL Network guys were just
yeah.
roasting him
Oh yeah.
mercilessly
Right.
because it looked like a just Shad Khan's kid playing wrestler
Yep.
almost.
Oh yeah.
And don't get me started on Shad showing up when Tony took that bump.
Yeah.
He had a look on his face like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Right. This is where my money's going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I'm giving you billions of dollars to do with
Yeah.
your free time.
Oh my God.
And
I should be rebuilding my defensive line instead for the Jags instead of giving you this.
I could I could be putting new equipment in my flexing gate factories with this
Well,
money.
there is that too. Keep it local, buddy. There you
Keep it
go.
local. That's right.
That's right.
I mean, don't get me started on Tony not keeping it local. I mean, you know, I've said he forgot where he came from. I mean, he ran that one show in Champaign 2 months after they went on the air. Hasn't been
Right.
back since.
Right.
And they drew a decent house in that show.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming you were there.
I did not go. My buddy Jack Doan went.
Ah,
Um,
Jack don't. Hey, you want to pick up that name you dropped there just now?
oh yeah. You should never drop names. Jimmy the Mouth and South Heart told me that once.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Fonzie said that last week.
Yeah.
But, I got a feeling if we get into a pissing contest, you're going to whoop me because you know a whole lot more people than I do.
Oh, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I've been lucky.
Yeah,
That's why I always say, for a goofy kid from 50 in Illinois, I sure did get lucky.
50 Muncie. So,
Yep, there you go. That's right.
yep,
548. That's right.
that's right. I played on the 50 Muncie Pee Wee baseball team. So
Oh, yep. The highlight of my athletic career was on that diamond.
it was the only moment of my athletic career was
Well, there
on
you
the.
go.
I
There you
was not
go.
an athlete. My brain is a great baseball player. My body not so much.
Well, there you go. Right.
So,
I hear you.
kind
I
of the
hear you.
same thing with wrestling.
Yeah,
I
ditto.
got the brain to do it, but I don't have the physical
Oh,
aptitude
yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the book. You don't want me in there taking bumps, kid. Not pretty. Would not be a
Yeah,
pretty sight.
no, I'd be bumping like J.J. Dillon
Oh,
taking the
God.
bionic elbow. Although, to be fair, nobody took the bionic elbow better than J.J. Dillon.
JJ, you know what? JJ was a hell of a worker. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
forgets that JJ was a 20+ year wrestler. You know, he was in the business long before taking over the Horsemen. So
yeah. Well,
another
J.J.
great
also had,
wrestling book.
yeah, oh, I have to look for that one. J.J. had a great philosophy, wrestle like a manager, manage like a wrestler,
There you go.
which is what he did once he retired from like full-time wrestling. I think Bobby Heenan was the same way, but
Oh,
well, to
Nick.
an extent. I mean, he was a better wrestler than half the roster in WWF in the 80s.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'll never tire seeing him run away and jump over the top rope and land on his
Oh
feet,
God, yeah.
keep running.
Oh yeah. Oh, Bobby was a great worker. I can't remember if it was Nick Bockwinkel or Ray Stevens that said, "You, Bobby could do anything that they could do, but they couldn't do half of what Bobby could do." You know.
Yep. It just
Yeah.
goes to show how great a manager he was that that's what they wanted him to focus on. Because
Right.
if they wanted him to wrestle, he could have done it.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they said there were nights when either Patterson or Stevens or Bockwinkel wasn't there that he would just fill in.
He would
So
just fill in. Well, look at that Survivor Series. I can't remember the year when Tully got
89
89. Yeah, where he had to fill in
until he
for
got
Tully.
fired.
Tully got fired. Damn drug tests.
Oh, right before he was going back to WCW too.
Oh, I know.
Oh, then
Screwed
poor Arn
himself,
got
screwed
the
Arn to an extent. Yeah.
yeah, because Arn got a lesser deal because
Right.
it wasn't going to be the
Exactly.
package. It was just going to
Exactly.
be double A. Oh my goodness. So many things
Cocaine's
to
a terrible
talk about.
drug, kids.
It is. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Speaking of that, I was just watching the Sandman Dark Side of the Ring before we went on the air today.
Yeah.
We got about halfway through it, and yeah, they did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Just say no, kids. But
Yeah.
yeah, Sandman.
Going back to Fonzie, I thought Fonzie looked like $1,000,000 in that.
Oh, he looks great.
He looks great, doesn't he?
I mean, this is Fonzie back then in his heyday.
Right.
But look at him now. His both eyes are open. He's got the clear complexion. He's
beautiful
great.
teeth. Yeah.
Beautiful teeth. Yeah. At first I thought, is that first time I saw Fonzie after he got the new teeth and everything? I was like, is that Fonzie? Because it didn't look.
Yeah.
But then he started talking. I was like, oh, that's Fonzie. You know,
no, it's definitely Fonzie. Yeah. No, he looks fantastic. He looks healthy. Florida's doing some good for him.
He said he turned 70 this year.
Wow.
And he doesn't look it.
Nope. Doesn't look it. Does not look it.
No. I'm proud to say I've been brothered by John Nord and I've been daddied by Bill Alfonso.
There you go, buddy.
So that's how I know I'm making it in the podcast business.
I've been babied by Jimmy Hart, so I can hang my hat on
me
that.
too.
Yeah,
yep.
There you go.
He was such a nice guy. I was wearing my Otomics workout pants at the expo, and he complimented me on my pants because they had the stripes on them. I think he may have thought they were slacks.
No,
considering his fashion sense.
Sure.
But no.
No, we worked with him at Blitz one time, and Jimmy he came in with a crave case of White Castle.
Nice.
And sat down on the merch table and said, anybody that gets my autograph gets a slider. So he 8x10, whatever, he signed it. And then he would sign the White Castle box that came in.
Nice.
And then he came into the back, and I'm like, Jimmy, you like White Castle? He goes, oh, no, baby, I don't eat that shit. Cracked me up.
He's a genius.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
he knows his audience.
He does. Yep. And I talked to Jimmy for the longest time, and 99% of the conversation was about music.
I believe it.
Yeah.
He signed my my Gentry's record that I got off
that's
eBay
awesome.
for the specific purpose of getting him to sign it. It's framed on the wall. You can't see it through my backdrop, but it's
Gotcha.
I think you can barely see it right above my record player there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I went to a Blitz show in 2015.
Okay.
And that was the one where you guys had brought in the Dudleys, Chavo, Al Snow, the Outsiders, and Bischoff.
Oh yeah, that was a big WrestleFest show if I remember right.
Yeah, and Steamboat too.
Romeo.
Forget about Steamboat.
Yeah. I was
Steamboat.
Yeah, I was Steamboat's right hand man that whole day.
Yeah, that was my first time getting to meet Steamboat, and what a class act he was.
Gentleman.
Yeah. Barry says Jimmy Hart eats one potato and a can of beans a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steamboat class act. Yep. Fantastic. Yeah, I remember that show well.
Yeah, that was my one and only time seeing the Dudleys compete as a tag team.
Very cool.
But
actually, now that I think about it, me too. Now that I think about it,
because they took on Hardcore Impact.
They did. Craig and
Paulie.
Paulie.
Yeah. We had Paulie on here not too long ago.
I know. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great
Love
interview.
to
I
get him
immediately
back on.
texted him afterwards and told him great job. It was fantastic.
Yeah. All these days I want to get Vito on because I want to talk to him about his collection of stuff because he was on that episode of WWE Treasures with Joe
Right.
Whitey's collar. Like, how
Right.
did you get a hold of that?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Well,
That's one show I just can't get into.
it's weird. Just
It
watching
is a
these
weird
guys
show.
grill collectors for their valuables and
Yeah. Yeah.
Sonny Ono
And
trying to he's really screwing over Mark Henry for the machine mask. It's just living his
yep.
gimmick, I suppose. But
Yeah, there you go. And I generally enjoy the A&E stuff, the WWE does, the biographies, the rivalries, but
I love the biographies.
oh, I do too. I think they're fantastic. I loved God, what was this last season? I loved the Sergeant Slaughter one. I thought
Yeah.
that was great.
I think my favorite one they've done was the one on the Iron Sheik.
That was
It
great.
was really good.
Yep. That was very good.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the long documentary on the Sheik? I think it's just called Sheik.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, loved it.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah. Yep.
But, yeah, so that's how I knew most of the stuff that was in the WWE one.
Right.
But they had more of the footage, like the
Right.
WWE like footage. So
Right.
all right. So when I told Just Incredible 7:30, I wonder if he thought I meant my time because I
Oh, I
didn't
wonder.
specify. So with that said, why don't we jump ahead a little bit? We're gonna let's get the meat and potatoes out of the way before the interview starts, and then we'll be in good shape there. So let's go to our top 10 Tuesday here, Toby.
All right, man.
And I told you what the topic was gonna be, right?
Did you?
I believe it's on the format that I sent you, but let me play the bumper here real quick. I love that song. I think of Don Rickles.
Right.
All right, so we talked about Cody and Logan coming up in Saudi. So our topic this week is kind of on the same lines. We're gonna do greatest champion versus champion matches, and this I'm keeping mainly to North America
Okay.
and like the major companies. So no nothing from Japan or the UK or anything like that. So I'm gonna start off here, number 10, and full disclosure, there's a handful that are all from the same year, and it's this one. Uh, 2001 No Mercy, Austin, Van Dam, and Kurt Angle. Austin as the WWF champion defending against hardcore champion Van Dam, and then Kurt Angle. This was right on the tail end of the invasion angle, and Van Dam was basically the only babyface in the alliance at the time
Right.
because
Right.
he couldn't not get over.
Right. Oh, the invasion angle,
Could have
which
been done so much. It could have been so good. But
it should have been the greatest angle of all time.
thanks a lot, Time Warner.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But you can't blame guys like Sting, Goldberg, all those guys that didn't immediately jump.
Nash, Steiner,
Yeah.
Hogan. Yeah,
Yeah. You have been a fool not. I mean, you have been a fool not to just sit on your couch and collect that check.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because they all came around right around the same time in 2003,
Yeah.
2002.
Yep.
Like, but no, I really enjoyed this whole pay-per-view because this is the one that we got Jericho and The Rock for the WCW title, which
Right.
was fantastic. And this one, it's basically this is right after Austin had beat Angle on Raw to win back the title in
Mhm.
Indianapolis, and yeah, so it's just Austin being the slimy heel, even though nobody really was buying Austin as a heel, even though he was in the alliance.
Right.
I don't think anybody wanted him to be a heel.
No. The only person that wanted him to be a heel was Austin. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
think
JR's talked about it extensively on his podcast, and
it was basically didn't Vince give him the option anytime he wanted to switch, he could switch.
Yeah. Yep. And JR, I guess put his case to Vince, and Vince is like, "Oh, we owe him, pal." And that was all. That was it. All she
Yeah.
wrote.
Then 6 months after he turned babyface again, he quit.
They didn't quit.
Went home for. Oh my goodness. All right. Number 9 on my list here, going to the first Super Brawl, Toby, in
Oh yeah.
WCW Tag Team Championship. Steiner's defending against Luger and Sting when Luger was the U.S. champion at the time. I think this is the show where he debuted the classic U.S. title that we know and love from the 90s.
Yep.
And uh, man, I think this actually got Match of the Year PWI
It did.
that year,
It did.
and with good reason. I mean, wonky finish with Nikita
Right.
running in with the chain, but
Right.
other than that, I love that match, top
Oh,
to
I did
bottom.
too. And I mean, in babyface versus babyface matches, I mean, they're hard to pull off in general.
They are.
I mean, on paper and in execution. And I mean, those 4 guys, they just went out there and they just left it on the table, and it was great.
Yeah. It's like this match reminded me of the matches that the Steiners had with the Road Warriors in
Oh
the
yeah.
whether it was Starrcade '89 or even on those early Nitros. It's
Yeah.
just 4 baby faces just knocking the crap out of each other for
Yep.
15 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm all for it. I love those house fights.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this period of the Steiners might be my favorite tag team ever. That
Really.
late '80s, early '90s Steiner brothers.
Right.
I mean, I love me some Midnight Express. I love the British Bulldogs, Dudley Boys, but this package with those 2 guys with the style that they were doing, uh, I was all for it.
Right.
Yeah. All right, number 8, going TNA, Toby,
Let's hear it.
2007, Victory Road main event. Team 3D defending the tag titles against Angle, who was the world champion and X Division champion Samoa Joe. All titles were on the line here. And this is the one that ended with Angle winning everything.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wonder where they got that idea from.
We'll get to that.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Uh, I love Team 3D. I mean, I mentioned it.
Oh,
I
I do
saw
too.
them at the Blitz show. I'm an ECW mark from way back,
Right.
and I really did like their TNA run. They kind of got to do what they do. Like they got to be ECW Dudleys, but with a little bit of the edge off,
Right.
where they didn't have to do all the crazy shit if they didn't want to.
Right.
Papa Pullman wants to chime in here. Steiners and Road Warriors were the best tag teams of all time. Uh, I will say the Road Warriors were the greatest drawing tag team of all time.
Right.
Purely in ring, not that's where I give the Steiners the edge. But no, I mean Road Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Can't say anything bad about the Road Warriors.
No, it's called the Road Warrior Pop for a reason.
That's right.
So, right.
All right. Number 7. Oh, how I love this match. This one, Raw in Germany, 1997. Toby.
Okay.
Owen versus Bulldog, when they were tag team champions at the time. So
Yep.
this counts.
Yep.
And also for the just created European Championship. So this is
Right.
the finals of the tournament.
Yep.
And the first 2 minutes of this match are just magic to
Right.
me. If you go back and watch this match.
Oh, I remember it well. Yeah.
And I mean, this is the match that made me really reappreciate the Bulldog because, like I said, I love the tag team back in the '80s. I liked Bulldog in the early '90s before, like '92 when he was having his Intercontinental run.
Right.
But I think this is my favorite Davey Boy Smith is this 1997 version.
Oh, I agree.
Just
I agree.
he had the charisma, he had that heel assholishness to him,
Right.
and he could do everything. He could suplex Vader with that delayed
Oh, yeah.
vertical that he did. He could
Oh,
power
yeah.
slam anybody, but he could also flip around and roll and do all the dungeon wrestling. He could do the missile drop kicks. He could.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You
all due
put-
respect to Lex Luger, Davey was a total package at this point.
Yep. Oh yeah. And you put him and Owen together. I mean those guys were magic. And you throw Cornette in the mix. Yeah.
Mhm.
Chef's kiss. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. You got Corny in there, and although I did love the
He had Brett keeping an eye on them as well.
well, there's that. I did love that later Hart Foundation run. I mean, during the Attitude Era. I mean, I just love that faction in general. I could have took or left Neidhart. I mean, it could just been Brett, Owen, Davey, and Pillman, and I would have been fine. But
I think I heard a rumor that Brett wanted Cyrus to come in as their mouthpiece
really,
before the Truth Commission. They had Cyrus, uh, the Jackal, Don Callis, whatever you want to call him. He
yeah,
was on their
yeah,
radar, and he was friends with Brett, and I guess
yeah.
Brett originally wanted him to come in as the mouthpiece for the Heart Foundation, but then they pivoted and gave him the Truth Commission.
Hmm.
But that would have been
Poor
interesting.
Callis.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have known? I mean,
But then we wouldn't have known
they
the
really
magic
didn't
that was
need a
Kurgan.
mouthpiece, though. I mean, that's
Not
my whole
really.
thing. No,
I mean, shit,
no.
Pillman was their mouthpiece.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Just had to be a little scared what he was going to say, but
Well, yeah.
yeah.
7-second delay for Brian Pillman. Oh my goodness. All right, number 6, the last Nitro, Toby, March of 2001.
Oh,
Booker
yep,
and Scott Steiner, U.S.
yep,
champion versus world title winner take all.
yep.
And this match kicked off the show. I mean, obviously,
Right,
knowing now what we know, that Sting and Flair was the main event,
right,
but we didn't know that when this show started in 2001. So they were starting off hot with that.
right.
And then we get the Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship victory for Mysterio and Kidman, and
Mm.
Stasiak beat Bigelow in what was it? If Stasiak lost, he had to get a tattoo or something. Some
Something.
Russo booking.
Yeah,
And then, of course, Sting and Flair. But this match was so good.
yeah.
If they would have brought in Steiner instead of Buff, I think they might have had a little bit of a better reception when they did that WCW
Oh,
showcase
sure.
match on SmackDown.
Oh, sure.
But again, Scotty had that fat Warner Brothers contract to sit on, so
Right. There is
he
that.
wasn't going anywhere. He's gonna
Yeah,
run his
and
Shoney's and all that good.
forgot about that.
Ackworth, Georgia. I don't think he has it anymore. I think that Shoney's closed. But I always said if I made it down to Georgia, I was gonna try and go to his Shoney's, but was
Yep,
not to be, unfortunately.
yep. Totally forgot they owned the Shoney's. That would have been epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, Ring of Honor this time, Toby, from 2006, which is
Ooh.
probably
Okay.
their golden age,
Right.
that '05 to '07 period. But going to the unified show in England, Danielson versus McGuinness, uh, the night they absorbed the pure title into the World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
I can't watch this match without getting a headache. 'Cause-
Right.
have you seen this match?
I have.
Just the head into the post over and over again. I was like, for the love of Pete, man, it's
Right. Oh yeah. I used to be a huge Nigel Mark back in those days. I thought he was fantastic. I never
so
understood why he didn't get signed back then. I mean, because I just thought he stood out head and shoulders above pretty much the whole locker room. And that's saying something in '06,
Yeah.
Ring of Honor. So
Well, my favorite match on this show, as great as this match was, my favorite match was Aries and Strong against the Briscoes,
okay.
World Tag Team title. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, the 4 guys in that match. I mean, how can it not be classic?
Right. Right.
But uh, that's another. Aries and Strong, I don't think get their due as a great tag team, even though
No.
it wasn't for a long time. It was like for maybe a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm usually not a fan of tag teams that are thrown together with singles wrestlers. Like
Right.
and I know they were in Generation Next, but they weren't regular partners until they won the tag titles pretty much.
Right.
And then they go and they get the matching gear. And the thing I love that they did is they took their individual moves and they were able to meld them together into tag team, like double team moves.
Right.
Like when they would do the brainbuster and Roddy would give him a chop on the way down, or they do the assisted backbreakers that Roddy would do. It's just I thought they did so well, and I wish they
Oh
would have
yeah.
had a longer run.
Right.
But this match, though, this is the one that everybody was behind Nigel for this because they were in England.
Right. Oh
And
yeah.
and I think they legitimately thought that he was going to beat Danielson to win that
Mhm.
championship.
Right. Now,
But
what are your thoughts on the pure title?
I liked it back in the day. I mean, nowadays it's it's the same thing. It's like it doesn't have the same oomph that it had back then. I mean,
Right.
back in in the original run, look at the guys that held the title. You had AJ, you had Joe, Nigel, Doug Williams, I think maybe Alex Shelley, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Just a who's who of great wrestlers holding that title.
Right.
And now, and Jonathan Gresham kept that going when he had the
Mhm.
title.
Right.
I'll give him his credit because he had a really good run with it. But then they put it on Yuta, then Shibata and Garcia, and I I don't watch it as much of Ring of Honor as I probably should just to keep
Right.
up with it. But it's not the same. It's
No, it
like you're not
hasn't been
going
the
to get
same for a
Joe
while.
versus Nigel anymore. You're not going to get
Right.
Aries and Nigel,
Right.
anybody against Nigel. But yeah, it's they don't really need it. I I had a feeling that they brought it back just so Jay Lethal could win the Grand Slam because that was the only belt he did not win up
Right.
till a certain time. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, they've got a world title, they got a TV title, they got tag team belts. Uh, I don't even know what's going on with the six-man titles now. That
Tony loves
uh,
his belts.
I hear he's got a whole room in his house full of belts just to bring out at any given time.
Oh, there
If
you go.
he on a if he has a flight of fancy and wants to bring in a new championship, he's got a ton of them.
Well, that's kind of my goal in life, so good for him.
Well, me too, but I don't want to share them with everybody else. I just want to find a four-walled
Ditto.
space and have them hanging up. And did you see what I got at the expo, Toby?
What's that,
Because
buddy?
I told myself I was going to get a belt when we were there. Bowery got
Okay.
two tag belts, like good block belts. I got, and I'm going to see if I can dig it out because it's the heaviest damn belt I think I've ever held. And we'll get back to the list here in a second, folks. But
Yep. The belt marks need a moment, folks. Sorry.
that's right. That's right. Check out Gold Rush on the podcast network on Fridays. It's
Oh,
the
Triple
All Japan
Crown.
Triple Crown Championship. This thing weighs
Oh,
a ton.
that's beautiful, buddy. Love it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh,
Ah.
wish I'd had that Saturday night when I saw Kojima live and in person. That would have
Oh,
been great.
if I'd known you were going, I would have sent this with you. Had you
He
have him sign it for me.
he did a meet and greet beforehand. I got there too late, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, granted, he didn't hold that belt physically. He was the All Japan
Right.
Triple Crown champion, but that
Yeah.
belt was, I think, 2013. I think when they introduced it
Yeah.
instead of
That
having all
sounds about
three.
right.
But even so, anyway, all right, tangent over here. Barry, Barry said it's a beauty and it's huge. He was there when I bought it, so he knows.
Right.
Oof. It pained me that my hotel room was like on the other side of the hotel, so I had to carry that thing all the way over there. All right. Anyway, number four. Uh, we kind of teased it. Backlash
There.
2001, two-man power trip, Brothers of Destruction.
Right.
Uh, I really like the build up to this match.
Oh yeah.
Uh, we kind of talked about it a little bit on Gold Rush because we were talking about that Intercontinental belt on Friday,
Yeah.
and Hunter wins it from Jericho, drops it to Jeff Hardy, wins it back, and then these guys win the tag titles at Backlash. And I I want to say they did it to give Kane a little bit of a break to heal up because I think did have an arm injury there.
Okay.
But but just the match, the psychology. I mean, again, those four guys. How are you not going to have a really good psychological
Sure.
storyline? And then at the end, Stephanie eats that big boot from Taker, and Vince runs out with a sledgehammer to get his revenge and gets punched in the face. Which
Yep.
who doesn't love to watch Vince get punched in the face? Let's be
Especially
honest.
nowadays, buddy.
Especially nowadays.
That's right.
Not meaning to shit on anybody, but
Of course you went there.
what?
What?
What? Me? No. Oh my goodness. But no, I really did like that match though. That whole pay-per-view was really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that match. I mean, I think anybody probably knew who was coming out with their hands raised, but
Yeah, again,
it didn't
you're
care. Yeah, it didn't care.
because it was every belt was on the line, and you didn't see Austin losing his title in a tag
Right.
match like that.
Right.
Thank you, AJ.
There you go.
I'm a stinker. I wasn't trying to do it again. Uh, all right, number three, And this might get me a little bit of heat with some people here, but this is where I put Brock and Roman from WrestleMania.
Okay.
Uh, some people might think it should be lower, some people might think it should be higher.
Right.
But I mean, there was a discussion going on today where it was a question about the World Heavyweight Championship and how it's always going to be perceived as secondary to the Universal Championship, or whatever it's called now. I think it's just the WWE title.
Yeah.
But this was an instance where Roman didn't have the main world title because Brock had the other one. And Brock is about the only guy that could have elevated that belt to Roman's level
Hmm.
by that point. Because as much as I love Seth's work, Rollins wasn't going to do it.
Right. Right.
Uh, AJ says, I'd say that is appropriate place. Their SummerSlam last man standing match was better. I do agree with that.
I
With
totally
Brock
agree
with
with
the
that.
tractor.
Oh my God. That was fantastic.
Farm boys everywhere popped.
This 50th kid did. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Roman sold that like a champ too when that
Oh yeah.
ring got lifted up. All right. And take that down. All right, number two. It's not my number one, but it's probably my favorite of these matches at number two. But going back to Ring of Honor 2015, Briscoe and Lethal World Title versus TV. Just a friggin' I don't do star ratings like Uncle Dave does, but this was a friggin' instant classic.
Yeah.
And this is one I actually paid for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view for. Usually I just watch the TV show, but
Sure.
this time I made a point to I wanted to see this match so bad that I bought the pay-per-view, and it did not disappoint.
Oh yeah. Yep. As a Jay Lethal mark, it saddens me to say I've never seen this match. I need to watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
I'm a
you've got
huge
to.
Jay Lethal fan. Oh yeah. Yep.
It breaks my heart what they're doing to him in AEW.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, brother. I think
Yeah, 'cause,
I think that guy still got so much gas left in the tank, and yeah, he's just being wasted.
I know everybody's on the Osprey bandwagon, and this isn't a knock on Will Osprey. I think Jay Lethal's pound for pound the best professional wrestler in AEW.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
I
would love to see Osprey and Lethal
oh yeah.
in a
Just
competitive match, not a
yeah,
Tony booked
right.
pseudo squash for Osprey.
Sure. Just let him go.
Yeah,
Just let him go. Give him 20 minutes, give him 25 minutes and let him go.
yep. AJ says, "I'm sad we'll never get Lethal versus Orton."
Oh,
Yeah, that's one that would be awesome. I'll tell you, I'm sad we'll never get Orton versus Jay Briscoe because
yeah.
as much
Yeah.
as we love the Briscoes as a tag team, Jay Briscoe was so good. He had that Arn Anderson quality where everything he said and did looked legit,
Right.
and you believed him. Whether it was
Right.
his promos, even though sometimes his promos sounded borderline insane, but you look in his eyes when he's doing it and you believe him.
Sure.
The Terry Funk didn't wear no mouthpiece promo is just a masterclass in
Right.
storytelling. Even with Mark Briscoe firing off a 12 gauge in the background or whatever it was. I forget what kind of gun he had in that, but just I love the Briscoes. It's
Oh yeah.
so good. Uh, AJ's full of responses here. If we're talking about the Briscoes, I wish we could have gotten Briscoes versus the North. Uh, I love the North. I thought they were great. Josh Alexander and Ethan Page in TNA
Hmm.
or in
Yeah.
Impact.
Yeah.
Well, we might be getting them again. Ethan Page is out of AEW, so he may go back to TNA. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah. All right. Number one, it's kind of obvious if you're paying attention. Uh, the first one that I saw was WrestleMania
There.
6,
Yep.
Hogan Warrior. Had to. Uh, and even then, I didn't know who was going to win. I thought I didn't occur to me that Hogan was going to step back and let the young guy kind of take the ball for a while.
Right.
And uh, and I will say it's one of the handful of best matches Warrior ever had, along
Oh
with the
yeah.
matches with Rude and the match with Savage at WrestleMania,
Savage. Yeah.
and the fact that Hogan pulled it out of him. that's another case where we're talking about of the veteran leading the match because
Oh,
this
sure.
is two baby faces again. So
Oh, yeah.
ordinarily the heel's the one that calls the match, but in this case it was Hogan because he was the
Mhm.
veteran,
Right.
and he really did do a great job of kind of reining Warrior in that match
Oh, yeah.
because it was very easy for Warrior to get all amped up and running and doing his thing. And there were like I said, Rude was good at doing that with Warrior, calming him down. Andre did it in a very different way by just
Oh, yeah.
sticking
Just
the fist
punched him
out.
in. Yeah. Right.
But
Turn to Bobby. He's learning. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. As a kid who grew up a Hulkamaniac, this match pissed me off so much. And even back then, just I could just see through the Warrior. I mean, he was he was a living superhero. Granted, looked great on an 8x10. He looked great coming to the ring.
oh, had
And
$1 million body
then
and a
the bell
10-cent
rang.
brain.
Yeah. Then the bell rang. And yeah. But like you said, I mean, there was a handful of matches, where it was fantastic. It was magic, but I mean, it wasn't because of him.
No,
Yeah. No.
I mean even Flair couldn't pull a good match out of him,
Oh God, no. No,
which
he
is
couldn't.
really saying something.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's our top 10. We do this once a month, and next week's episode we'll be going back to our PWI flashback, which I think we're doing 2010. I think it'll be May of 2010 next week. So
Gotcha.
that should be interesting. We don't do the whole lexicon of everybody, but we hit the high spots. We hit like WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
maybe New Japan. We'll have to wait and see, but I'll have to do my research on that one. All right. As we come up on 7:22, I'm really starting to think that he thought it was 7:30 our time. So
Well, there we go.
that's right. No big deal, I say. I don't have my. There we go. All right. So next week on Raw, we're getting Lethal and or Lethal. I got wrong Jay. I've got Lethal on the brain now. We got Jey Uso and Gunther. We got Io against Lyra in the
Lyra.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, darn good match from her, by the way, in that Zoe Stark match.
Yeah.
Uh, is it possible? I hate the idea of Gunther taking a clean loss at any point,
I
even though
agree.
Jay is like mega over right now. He's clearly the hottest babyface they've got right now.
Right. Which if
But
you would have told me after his WrestleMania match with his brother that was going to be the case, I would have thought you're nuts. Because, yeah,
his entrance saved his bacon.
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
is it possible
That's
that we get Tama Tonga and Jey Uso in the finals of this tournament?
what was that? I'm sorry, Reb.
I said, is it possible that we get Jey Uso and Tama Tonga in this tournament in the finals?
Maybe could be. I just going into the tournament. I mean, I just thought Gunther could just pencil him all the way in, you know, taking the
Yeah.
whole thing, which I thought was
Originally,
going
that's
to
what I
lead.
thought too.
Yeah, which I thought was eventually going to lead to him and Cody at SummerSlam. To me,
Right.
that's the direction I thought it was going, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I wouldn't want to feed Gunther to Cody that soon
I wouldn't
because
either. I wouldn't either.
I mean I wouldn't hate seeing Gunther go after the world title on Raw first, get a run with that, and
Right.
then maybe parlay that into after the Rumble. Maybe he loses the belt before the Rumble, then he wins the Rumble and gets WrestleMania. It's hard to
Right.
say because
It's hard to
I mean
say, but
Cody's
I think Gunther and Cody is what a lot of the smart fans are, fingers crossed. That's what they're wanting to see. So I kind of thought Hunter was, going to make it happen some way somehow, but
hmm he was
yeah,
my pick in the Rumble.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
ask my wife. I was not happy when he got thrown out.
sure.
Looks like we're having some Facebook connectivity issues. I'm working on that as we speak. We can keep going. It's still recording. It's just.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
got you, buddy. I got you. I'm admiring your Colta Cornet certificate on the
Oh,
wall.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got that. I don't know if you can. You can't see it. I've got an autographed picture of the heavenly bodies right above it.
Oh, nice.
The
That's very
bodies in
cool.
Corny.
As a
Because
fellow cult member, yeah, very nice.
because I got this. I got the heavenly
Did you?
bodies
Oh,
action
that's
figures, and
cool.
it came with the autographed 8x10.
Oh, that's great.
So that goes right there where the cat can't get to it. I don't have a whole lot of like toys. I got that, and I've got a Dusty Rhodes Funko on my desk, and that's about all the wrestling toys I have. Then I got my Bill Alfonso whistle that he sent me after the
I
first time he was on.
I have one of those
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. Yep, I sure do. I sure do.
Have you
As
met
you can see
Fonzie?
behind me, I only have a few Funko Pops, but
Right.
yeah.
I thought about it. At the 01, there's one of the guys sells his old Funkos there, and they've got Money Inc. for sale usually. No, I don't think anybody's picked it up yet, but
Huh.
if I had more shelf space, I would snap it up.
Right.
I don't have a whole lot of room. One thing I do have that not a lot of people know about. I'll show this to you. It's an eBay treasure, but I did get it verified that it's legit. I have
Oh,
my
hacksaw. Nice.
hacksaw hacksaw Jim Duggan autographed 2x4 there.
Very cool.
Like I said, certified. So
Oh, there you go.
put that back behind there where the cat can't get to it, which is really my main motivation for anything is put things where the cat can't get to them.
Right.
And yeah, so I've got a few treasures here and there. Like I said, I got this is just the belt that I have displayed right now. I got a handful of them in there, but I
Right.
got the cardboard WWE belt stand a few weeks ago to put on my desk. It's much
Nice.
sturdier than I thought it would be.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. Well, to paraphrase Cody Rhodes, sir, what do you want to talk about? Is there anything that we have missed?
Well, let's talk about Mania next year being on Easter weekend,
Oh,
and our friends at Squared Circles seeing them scrambling.
oh man, I know. I noticed that too. I mean, this is they've never had WrestleMania this late in
Oh no,
April.
no, exactly, exactly. This was a topic of conversation with Tony and Ray and I at dinner before the MLW show, and basically we came to the consensus. We think Vegas wanted it that late. That way, there was absolutely no competition with the NCAA Final Four.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean, you got to think Super Bowl, NCAA tournament. You know, those are like Christmas days in Vegas as far as gambling goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
yeah,
And I know Nick Khan had made a statement saying that they were never going to go up against the Final Four again.
right,
And the only way they can do that now that they're running 2 nights is to go middle of the month or
right.
even the end. But
Yep.
yeah, I would not want to be a fly on the wall in Adolfo and Ed's houses when they
Oh
found
yeah.
out that WrestleMania was on the same weekend as the Expo.
Oh yeah.
But as far as I know, they're scrambling. They're working on getting another date. I think they've got it
Right.
narrowed down to a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I watched the live update that they did. Sounds like the Wyndham's being great. It sounds like they're really working with them.
yeah, oh, the
Yeah.
Wyndham's awesome. It's a great spot for that.
Oh yeah.
So I can only assume you're going to the Expo next year.
Well, that's my plan. That
That
is my
as
plan. My hope is that vendor information actually comes out in August and September, and I'm hoping to participate on the other side of the table. So,
very
uh,
nice.
yeah, my old Blitz partner Tony Scarpone and I we're talking about getting more, you know, kind of working together again, but doing conventions, not running shows, but doing conventions.
Very nice.
Being a vendor, sponsoring a name, having them at the table. Already kicking around a couple ideas for Squared Circle. I've been kind of getting some information from people about who they think would draw and kind of taking that all in. And, you know, we have a
Okay,
short list, and so we'll see.
nice. Well, I
Yeah.
know if they bring Sabu and Van Dam back next year, I would love to see them bring Fonzie in.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Yeah, that'd be a fun photo op right there.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd definitely be one of the pro photo ops they'd probably be
Sure,
doing.
sure.
Yeah. If you had to pick, this
Well,
thing fell down. Uh, if you had to choose somebody to be at the expo, and I'm not counting anybody that we've already gotten to see, who would you want to see show up and do something at the Square Circle Expo?
oh shoot, man. As far as somebody like in the Sting role of this year, where it's the big headliner, or just somebody at a table, or because I'm thinking as far as the headliner goes, uh, I think if they can make it happen, I think Edge would be huge.
Yeah,
I think Copeland would be huge. Um,
I know Minders would pop for that because
yeah,
she's a big edge head.
yeah, yep. I think that would be big. God, part of me wants to say Flair, but man, he's my all-time favorite. But Nate has gone off the rails, baby.
He really has.
He's
He's
had
the
an
one
eventful
guy I
week.
need. I got Simmons, Luger, and Sting to sign my WCW world title, and Flair's the only
Yeah,
one left alive that held the belt. So I'd like to have him there just so I could get that last signature on there.
yeah,
But
um,
I don't know that I'd want to be in the restaurant in the hotel when he's in
yeah.
there
Oh
because
God,
it might be a whole other show.
exactly.
Oh my
But
goodness. Oh,
no, I had the pleasure of
just
meeting Flair once at a Peoria Riverman game. He was doing a meet and greet autograph signing. So this was back in the day. Couldn't have been nicer. It was great.
nice.
Yep.
Have
Um,
you made it to any Lucky Horseshoes games since Jeff Jarrett's been
I have
one of the
not. I got
owners?
friends in the Lincoln area, and they want me to come down there. But yeah, nope, I have not.
Yeah.
I
One
have
of these
not.
days I'm going to make it down there.
Now they're doing. They're. I think Jarrett's actually doing a show, right? I mean,
Yeah, they're doing a wrestling show, like I
right?
think after the game maybe or something.
Yeah,
I forget for
yeah.
sure.
Which is something we
But
did in Blitz for years up in Joliet, like the Windy City Thunderbolts. After the game, we'd have a show, and
nice.
yeah, and those were always fun. Yeah, long day, long night, but fun.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Makes
yep.
me think of those old AWA shows at Comiskey Park when
Oh
the
God,
baby
yeah,
faces come out of one dugout, the heels come out of the other
right,
one.
right, right.
I think that's where the Freebirds painted their faces with the rebel flag.
Rebel flag. That's right. That's right.
That
And of course,
that didn't age
the
well, but
first WrestleFest, the for WWF, I think that was at the old Milwaukee Brewers Stadium, County Stadium.
okay.
Yeah, that might. Oh man, oh man, old teenage nerdy Toby Hope would have known this. 49-year-old Toby Hope's forgetting. I think that might have been. He wasn't Mr. Perfect yet, but that might have been Kurt. I can't say it was Kurt Hennig's debut because he had wrestled there as a rookie. He had done some like Madison Square Garden shows for WWF back in the day. But I want to say on the undercard of one of those WrestleFest shows in Milwaukee, it was Kurt Hennig and Terry Taylor.
Okay. So before
Pre
either one
pre
of them
Red
had a
Rooster,
gimmick,
pre Red Rooster, pre Mr.
Mr.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. Of
Nice.
course, if you ask Terry Taylor, he likes to tell everybody that he was originally supposed to be slated as Mr. Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. He just pulled out the wrong gimmick out of the box of gimmicks. And,
The good old box of gimmicks.
uh, I was watching on YouTube. They got some old LA TVs from the late '80s, like
Okay.
from like the syndicated, and they did one from the Los Angeles Sports Arena. And the first match on the show, or I'm sorry, second match on the show was Barry Horowitz against the Blue Angel. Now I'm going to test you here. Do you
Oh,
know who
Blue
was the
Angel.
Blue Angel? Yeah,
I do not. What year was this? I'm sorry. Do you know?
19,
You
it
remember?
was 1988.
1988, Blue Angel. Nope, you got me, bro.
That was a pre-Blue Blazer Owen Hart.
See, that was my guess, but I thought that was too obvious.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Because
yep.
I didn't know it either, but I could just tell by the way he was moving, and he
Mm-hmm.
had the blue Stampede singlet with the white stars on it with the
Right,
mask. So
right.
I just kind of did the math. I was like, oh yeah, that's Owen. And
Oh,
he went
shoot, man.
over, looked awesome.
Right.
Horowitz, nobody's a better enhancement guy than Barry Horowitz, so
Oh, yeah,
made him look like $1 million.
sure.
But those are fun shows to watch. It's Gorilla and Superstar Billy Graham on commentary. Like this one was like in the lead up to SummerSlam, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the team for the first SummerSlam. That's
mhm.
Gorilla and Superstar. Yeah,
Superstar. The enthusiasm was there. He wasn't the best color commentator,
sure.
saying Hulk Hogan was his hero.
Oh Lord.
It's the man with the bionic biceps.
I was a big Billy Graham mark. Big Billy Graham, especially with with the Grand Wizard. Even as a kid,
Yeah.
you know.
See, my first exposure to Billy Graham was when he came back and managed Morocco
Well,
in
see, I'm
86,
with you
87.
there. Yeah, that was actually my first exposure. And then when I went and learned who he was,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh my God, this guy was great. Once again, he was 20 years too late. Isn't that what they say about Superstar?
Oh, ahead of his
Yeah,
time, man.
yeah. He would have been
Um,
Hogan in the 80s if he had been 20 years down the road. Yeah.
Imagine if we would have gotten heel Graham versus babyface Hogan in the mid
Oh Lord.
80s.
Oh yeah. The
Just the
promos alone would
promos.
have been. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
they
Oh yeah.
throw Ventura in there
Oh Lord. Yeah.
because we never got that blow off of Hogan and Ventura.
No.
Just
No.
life gets in the way there. Ventura
Yeah.
got hurt,
Well, well, there's
but
that, and then of course, they always blame Hogan for the reason Jesse got the boot, trying to unionize, and
mhm.
Hogan was the rat. He squealed.
Yep,
Yeah.
got him even more heat with the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he only got so much heat because he was also drawing all the money.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can't be real mad at Hogan, but
Oh no. No.
just grumble
No.
under your breath, bat him behind his back. But
No.
you're still
No.
going to work with him because you got
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. If you were, you prayed you were on the A show with Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because what was it? World title on one show, then Intercontinental and Tag Team on the other. Or
Yep.
it was
Yep.
some combination of the three.
Right. And God knows what they threw on the C shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
women's title.
Women's
It was the ladies champion.
right.
The Jumping Bomb Angels and the Glamour Girls headlined every night.
Yep. Hey, I would have loved that.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I love the jumping
I
bombing.
I had to mention the Glamour Girls just to pop Bari.
Oh, I know.
Classic.
Because
Never seen.
they were on the undercard of the first Rumble, right?
Yeah,
Am I remembering that right?
you were
Okay.
remembering that correctly. That was
Okay.
two out of three
Two
falls.
out of three falls, right? On the USA
Yeah.
Network, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
It was a 20-man Royal Rumble that night.
Right.
It was,
Right.
and do you remember who the first two guys in the match were?
First two guys in the match. Oh my Lord. Was Bret Hart one of them?
Bret Hart was one of them.
La 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 la. Once again, teenage Tobi Hope would have been able to rattle this off. Was it Tito?
It was Tito.
Oh man, I pulled that out of nowhere.
It was just right on the heels of the big feud, Strikeforce and the Hart Foundation. So,
Man. Okay, going back to Squared Circle Expo. Guess Strikeforce reunion would be on the top. One of the guys that'd be on the top of my list.
that would be a photo op I would pay for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I don't think Rick Martel really he's popping up more on social media now. Just some
I
random
think he
pictures. He
does.
looks
I think he does the virtual signings more than actually
yeah.
traveling and
Yeah, that's
all that.
kind of what I understand that he's not really into the personal appearances.
Yeah, that's a shame though, because he'd make a few bucks at the expo. Cause
Oh Lord, yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I
Any of
was
those.
thrilled to get to meet Tito last year when he was there.
Oh, very
And
cool.
like much like Steamboat, couldn't have been a nicer guy. Just
Oh, that's
class act all the way.
right, right. Don Morocco, another guy I would love to meet.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I
I
hear.
I didn't appreciate Don Morocco as a heel until I got much older than I was
Ditto.
in the 80s.
Oh yeah, ditto.
Because
Ditto.
he could,
But I hear it's hard to get him out of Hawaii, and who can blame
well,
him?
I can't blame him one bit.
Right.
Off shooting another episode of Fuji Vice.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to do without Fuji now, but you know what I
Well,
mean.
yeah. Oh yeah. I got to work with Demolition once, and that's all I asked. All I asked was about Fuji rib stories, and boy, did they have plenty of them. It was
Oh, I'm
fantastic.
sure they did.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I heard the one guy he didn't pick on was Yoko.
I could see that.
He took special care of Yoko. He was his handler.
Gotcha.
And I think Blassie may have threatened him to leave him the hell alone. Not Rib Blassie.
Right.
That's a guy I wish I could have got to meet back in
Oh,
the like
ditto.
at any point. Freddie Blassie.
Oh, ditto. And I have to admit, I mean, all I knew of Freddie Blassie growing up as a kid, he was one of the 10 heel managers that would be all over my TV every weekend. I gotta admit, it really wasn't until his book came out that I learned so much about how big he was in Japan and how big he was
Yeah.
in LA. And yeah, I mean, he was a megastar in LA.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading that book when it came out too,
Yeah.
and so many good stories about that. I didn't realize how close in age he was to Fez. I guess they were only a couple years apart, and they were both
Right.
from St. Louis.
Right. Reb, you need to do a top 10 wrestling book list once.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
A couple of those would have to be Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Uh, Depending on when I get through this one with the Grappler, he'd probably be on there.
It's a good book. It's a quick
I'll,
read, quick
yeah.
listen for
I'll,
you.
well, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
tell you the book that I would love to find, but I cannot find it for the life of me is Gary Hart's book.
Had it.
You had it?
Had it. As in past tense.
Oh.
Had it. Here's a story of true love, Reb. Had that book.
Hmm.
Started dating my now fiance. She
Mhm.
loves Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks was having his big comeback tour. He's going to be at Rosemont. At the time, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. Sold my Gary Hart book on eBay for $200. Turned around and used that money to buy Garth Brooks concert tickets.
You're a better
And I
man
got,
than me.
well, hey, I'm getting a wife out of the deal. So you know what?
This is, you know what?
That's right.
No shame in your game. So
There you go, buddy.
well done.
There you go.
That,
But man,
that,
I
that's
missed
what,
that book.
yeah.
That was a good one.
I'll tell you what, most of the books I ingest are audio because of my work, because I'm always
Sure,
walking around. I never get to sit and read. I
sure.
wish they would have had an audio version of Gary Hart's book with Gary Hart doing the narration.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. I was big. Well, I mean, I'm still to this day. I'm a huge Muda mark. So that was him and Muda together back in the late '80s, early
Show
'90s.
him the fingers.
Yep. The Boogeyman, Kabuki.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Please tell me that there's the story is in the book about when he cut Missing Link in the
Missing
locker
Link.
room.
Yep. Yep. Dewey.
Cornette
Yep.
told that story on his podcast, but
Oh yeah.
I
Yep.
always wondered
No,
if it was apocryphal.
no. Gary Hart. He verified it. Yep. Dewey didn't mess with him after that.
No, didn't he leave the territory?
I believe. Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, he did. Yep.
Because Dewey was a big boy and
Oh yeah.
he was legit, so
Oh yeah.
he probably thought he could just do whatever he wanted.
Right. Gary Hart's one of those guys. Back in my booking days, I would have given anything just to sat under his learning tree
Mm-hmm.
and just I wouldn't just
Pick his
kept
brain.
my mouth shut, ears open, and just soaked it all in.
Yeah, Ernie Ladd's
Yeah.
another guy like that.
Oh God, Bundy.
I'd rather fight a man than make love with a woman.
Yeah, I would love to marry Ladd, Eddie Graham. I mean,
Yeah.
all those old bookers, man. Just
Watts is still alive, but
yeah,
he still kind of scares me.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I-
Oh my God, no. I wouldn't mess with Bill Watts. Jesus, it's like Haku. Couldn't have been
Yeah.
nicer when I met him. Oh
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't mess with that man. Lord no.
That takes me back to Heyman's speech. His kids were sitting like 2 seats down from Haku.
Yeah.
Heyman
Yeah.
says, if anybody messes with you guys, just you're 2 seats away from Haku.
Right.
That would make me feel more comfortable, that's for sure.
Right. No, I hear you.
I always see these things on Facebook where it's like pick two of these guys to back you up in a bar fight, and it's like
Yes.
Shamrock, Brock,
Right.
Haku, New Jack, all these. I always just say Haku.
Haku twice. If if I
Shit,
have to pick
Haku
two,
once would be
Haku.
enough, but
Only
Haku
be
twice is
enough.
just
But
unfair.
if I got to pick two, yeah, take out a small army.
Yeah, it's like if somebody asks, who would you rather have as backing you up in a fight, Haku, or before they could say the second, I
Yeah,
just say Haku.
Haku. That's right.
Remember Jake Roberts telling the story about Haku biting off Jimmy Jack. Was it? He pulled out Jimmy Jack Funk's eye, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. The nose biting.
That was at Hooters. Some other
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. That was just a random mark. Yeah, just
Just
had a really bad night at Hooters. Yeah.
poor Jesse Bart. Haku pulled his eye and put it back in for him.
Oh my lord. Well,
We didn't have to do that.
no, you didn't have to do that. That's that's being courteous. That's
Yes.
manners.
That is. It's etiquette.
It's
It's like putting the guy in the sleeper and then waking him up after the match is over.
Right. Right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
All right. Oh, we are doing a really good job of just BSing our way through this, aren't we, Toby?
We are. I don't. Rev. I gotta be honest with you. I'm loving it because I don't get to have this talk. My kids don't watch wrestling. Good Lord, Stacy doesn't watch wrestling. So that's why all my wrestling stuff's in the garage. So, yeah.
Oh, your lady's name is Stacy too?
I have a Stacy as well, my friend. Yep.
Yep. My bride is a Stacy. So.
Yep. My bride to be is a Stacy. Yeah.
It's a good name.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, my Stacy never really watched much until we got together. Now she watches with me every week. But
that's great. Yep.
she likes the costumes, though.
Yeah.
The sparkly outfits and everything.
Well, there you go. I can't blame her.
No.
I'm a belt mark. Shiny objects, I'm in.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
everybody else goes for the action figures. What am I going to do with the action figures? I'm a grown man. I don't play with toys anymore. But these things, once I get enough wall space, right now I'm just in the corner of my living room with this setup here. So it's very condensed. It's just a little alcove. If I had a man cave with big walls, I'd have all those fuckers hanging up all over the place.
Oh yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. All-time favorite belt, Big Gold.
Huh? All-time favorite?
Belt, Big Gold.
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Have you done top 10 belts?
I have. I think I did a long time ago, but all these lists I've done in the past several years, they're always subject to change. So I can always I could bring back another one. I think if I had to pick my all-time favorite, I mean, you can't get better than the Big Gold, the original Big Gold, the Crumb Ryan one. And I've got the Fandu version in my tote down here, and I got Ricky Steamboat and Scotty Steiner to sign it at my first expo.
That's awesome.
So maybe I'll need to bust that back out for next year's, depending on who's there.
Sure.
Because I'm a stickler for his autographs, because the belt I have is the NWA version. It doesn't have the WWE logo on it.
Right.
So I'm only getting NWA world champions to sign it. And so far I just got the two. Then I got the three on my WCW belt. But the Big Gold belt is about as close to perfect as you can get as far as title belts go. I love the Winged Eagle. I actually like, this is going to be a controversial statement, I think the Big Eagle is better than the Winged Eagle.
I agree.
The Blue Eagle, though, the original one. With the block logo.
Yep. Love that belt.
I think that's going to be my next belt expenditure.
Yeah.
If I can't get a good deal on the Shane Douglas ECW title from 98, 97, 98.
Okay.
Like the one before the one that everybody else knows.
Right. For the one with like the purple backing.
Right. In between that and the one that looks like it's made of cardboard.
Remember that one too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you got UWF. You mentioned it. Their world title was awesome.
Classic.
That's definitely the template that I think Ring of Honor used for these.
Sure.
Yep. As far as secondary titles go, I've got to give it to the TV title from the 80s. The red strap. Silver.
The Arn belt. Yeah.
Got to hold that belt when I met Arn.
I know. I'm jealous. It was sitting on the table, and I was chatting with Brock too long, and before I knew it, I had to, we had to snap our picture with the three of us. So yeah,
Yeah. Arn actually invited me to hold it. So
that's awesome.
of course, I asked the typical Mark question: is this the actual belt?
Yeah,
You never know. Maybe
you never
maybe
know.
you got to keep the belt.
Yeah, you
But he's
never
like,
know.
no, that's a replica. But good enough for me.
Oh, good enough. Good enough.
Yeah. Uh, my brother thinks it's just sad that, and I admit this with shame in my face, Toby, that Arn was the guy I was most looking forward to at the Expo. He's my all-time favorite wrestler.
Hmm.
So I knew that when I took the picture with him, we were going to do the four. We are going to do the hand signal.
Right.
I spent more time than I cared to admit the night before rehearsing my four, like standing in front of like this, like is it like this?
Nope.
Do I want to cramp it more? Do I want to?
Buddy,
Do I need to tuck the
not.
thumb? What?
Yep. Not judging a
It's,
bit. Not judging it
I
at
mean,
all.
it's the symbol of excellence. You want to get it right,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. I didn't even do it in my picture. Like I said, I'm standing between him and Brock. I just got my arm on lower back. They got their arm on my shoulder. Yep.
If Arn did a pro photo op with, and I could get me, Bari, and a handful of other people, I would want to recreate the Dangerous Alliance pose from the picture.
Oh,
And you know
there you
which one
go.
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, with Arn and Bobby kneeling on the ground. That one.
Uh-huh. I think
Yeah.
Zabisco was like hunched over,
Yeah.
Rude's in the
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
Just because I'm a ridiculous person. It's just
There you go. Another
I
top
criticize
10 list
Tony
for you.
Khan for being a mark. I'm just as bad. But
Oh, me too.
I just
Buddy.
don't have $1 billion.
Yeah, ditto. Good thing. Good thing I don't. Another
Oh,
top 10
if
list
I
for
did,
you.
I wouldn't have it for long.
Yeah. Oh, I always say, buddy, the worst thing I can have on my hands, time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the trouble I could get into. Yep. Hey, another top 10 list idea for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Underrated stables.
Ooh,
You saying,
underrated.
yeah, you saying Dangerous Alliance made me think of that. One of the most underrated stables of all time.
I agree. That might be the most underrated stable of all time.
Probably. Yeah. When you look at that lineup, they don't get the love they deserve.
Show me a weak link in that lineup.
Exactly.
Can't be done.
Out there, it'd probably be Zabisco, maybe, but Zabisco's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Arn, Bobby, Rude,
Austin.
Medusa, Austin.
Young Austin too.
Young Austin who could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heyman at his managerial prime
Oh, yeah.
when he had the full head of hair.
Yeah.
Then I think wasn't Michael Hayes in the group toward the end after Zabisco was gone?
Was he? Ooh, I don't remember
Because I
that.
think he formed a trio tag team with Arn and Bobby.
Did he? Ooh, I don't remember that, man.
I
You
believe
might
so.
have me on that one.
Ooh. But because I think the motivation was the members of the three greatest tag teams of all time was their promo, because you got
I
Midnights,
see.
you got Freebirds, you got the Horsemen.
Right.
So of course they didn't win any championships or anything. This was after Bobby and Arn had already dropped the titles, but
Right. Man, I
this
do
is
not remember that.
yeah.
Hmm.
You guys, we could do a top 10 versions of the Four Horsemen. There's so many versions of them,
Yeah, we could.
which might
We
just
could
be
do a
ranking
top
all of
10.
them.
We could do a top 10 Horseman offshoot list as well.
Evolution's got to be on there, right?
Yeah, Evolution probably be one.
Yeah.
Going back
You
to
could put
old
Dangerous Alliance
MLW
there.
days. What's that?
You could put the Dangerous Alliance there too, because
Technically,
you
you
had
could.
Double A.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know where you're going. Extreme Horsemen,
Extreme Horseman.
Carino and CW and Simon Diamond.
Simon Diamond. Yep. And
And I think Wyndham
Just
too, right?
Incredible.
Just Incredible.
Wyndham. Just Incredible was, yeah, he was included in that.
Man, I gotta catch up
He
on my
was,
old
but yeah,
MLW.
but Wyndham was in there because I believe they did a War Games match, or yeah, and I believe Wyndham was included in that. So
yeah, it was like Team Funk against Team Carino. It was like
Yeah.
Extreme Horsemen against like Funk, Dusty. I think Doc might have been in it, Dr. Death.
yeah,
And
is Lawler
Fonzie.
in there?
No Lawler.
No
Well,
Lawler.
Fonzie was in it because I think it was supposed to
Fonzie
be
was
maybe
set.
Sabu.
Sabu was supposed to be in it, and I think Fonzie
I think Fonzie took his
jumped
spot.
in. Yeah.
But I forget who the other guy was on that team. I gotta go back and find that match is on YouTube.
Yeah. Where's AJ at when
But,
we need him?
Right.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
clicking
this
away.
might be a little before AJ's time, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
That might have
clicking
to
in
be
the
a
Google
watch along.
machine. That would be a fun watch along.
Yeah, I would do the ROH CZW Cage of Death for a watch along, but that's like an hour-long match. We
Right.
don't need to spend that much time on it. Yeah.
Not to plug somebody else, but there's a YouTuber. She's called Kim Justice,
Okay.
who does. Actually, she's like the only YouTuber I actually give to for Patreon. She does some fabulous short documentaries, and she did one on the whole Ring of Honor CZW feud. Highly recommend watching it, man.
Nice.
It's a little over an
I
hour
thought that
long.
feud was. I thought that feud was great.
Oh yeah.
How they did it.
Oh yeah. And I'm not a CZW guy, but yeah, I loved
Me
it.
either.
Yeah.
The Cage of Death I loved because that was my first time seeing Eddie Kingston
Yeah.
when he was the surprise fifth man on the CZW team.
Right.
And then just looking at the lineup in that match now, there's Ring of Honor had Danielson, Homicide Joe, Pierce, Adam Pierce, for those that
Mm-hmm.
don't remember, Ace Steel,
Ace
and
Steel.
Whitmer.
Yep.
Because Danielson took Joe out and then he left. So they were like 3-on-5 until Homicide came out
Right.
and helped him. The CZW team was Hero, Claudio, Kingston, Necro
Dragon.
Butcher. No, Super Dragon was not. It was Nate Webb.
Oh,
The
Spider
Dragon,
Web. Right.
Spider Nate Webb. But
Yeah.
yeah, Super Dragon was like one of the main guys in the feud. But I think he had a
Yeah.
PWG commitment that weekend
Gotcha.
and he couldn't make it. But yeah, just if you love war games, and like I said, I'm not a fan of most of the Cage of Death stuff, just because most of it's
Right.
just ridiculous. But
Right.
Cornette was booking it, basically,
Yeah.
and JJ Dillon was involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're gonna get it right. All right. Well, I'm getting the impression that we are going to be guestless this episode, Toby.
I think we got stood up, brother.
It's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah.
It won't be an issue to get him on another date, but I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna call this an episode, Toby. Thank you
All right,
for
bud.
helping us out. It
Oh,
was
it's
a lot
my
of fun. We're
pleasure.
gonna have you back. I think
Oh, that'd be great.
you've earned a spot in the rotation of guest hosts.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
So
I had a great time, man.
yeah, and I don't know, maybe we'll bring you back in for the Grappler episode since
I did love
you've
that
read the book.
I
Yeah,
did love the book, and like I said, I'm a territory guy, so I'm just gonna eat up anything he's got to talk about when it comes to the Pacific Northwest.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, like we said, next week we will be joined by damn right Sam Knight. 28th, Aaron Williams from Cincinnati's Most Wanted. June 4th, the great Ricky Santana from the Puerto Rico territory, as well as, I believe, Florida. The Grappler, June 25th, and the Berserker John Nords on July 2nd. And we're working on other guests too. Nothing locked down for sure yet, but keep posted. If you were on here waiting for Just Incredible, I'm sorry. We will get him back on soon. You know, card subject to change. It's what
There you go.
we've had more than one of those on the podcast, but we will get him rescheduled soon. And for those that follow the 0-1 Shootout, a reminder: we will not have an episode tomorrow. We're taking tomorrow night off, but the week next Wednesday we'll be back with the voice of the Indies, Rob Leach, as our guest, and then we'll have Menders back with us this coming Tuesday. So be sure to catch us then. So, Toby, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, nothing to report yet, Reb. Like I said, maybe someday soon we'll have some.
When you got something to plug, let me know and we'll get you on and let you break some news.
Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah. And who knows, if you do make this happen, maybe I'll throw you a few bucks to put our logo on your table.
Oh, shoot. Well, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
Yeah. We'll talk.
We'll do some business here.
There
All
you
right. So anyway, thanks you guys for joining us for our first episode of season 4. And Menders, we missed you, but we made it through without you for one episode. And thanks again to Tobi Hope for sitting down with us. And until next time, for Toby, this is Rev. Run y'all life is hard work stiff, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.